Hey, what's up everybody? It's Majin Slayer here, and today I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a dueling book replay where I did about 10 plus or so test hands featuring the Brave token Phantom Knight deck. Um, I don't really want to give a deck list out of what I have in the works because the list for the TCG would look quite different. You know, OCG named stuff like Crossout Designator, and I'm not even sure if like the whole Brave Token engine would be even played in the TCG, just because when you start to look at it, you're already dedicating like five or no four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. It's like nine whole main deck slots, and it's like okay, but the BA engine only takes up like two of your main deck spots, and they play this because like they don't really because like they have Maxi, you know. So like the reason why this was like the best deck in the OCG was because like you get hit with Maxi, okay, turtle up with like a Fog Blade, or just go ahead, summon out the Fusion Destiny, and just sit back and relax. Like this, the reason why this deck works so well in the OCG is because like you don't have to commit too many special summons to put up that many resources, and the follow up is really nice in the Phantom Knights decks. And just with the whole synergy of being able to like discard one of your Phantom Knight cards, a TCG list would look a lot more different because when you think about like TCG lists, we run stuff like the five traps. Most OCG lists do not run the five traps; they prefer to just run four at maximum. And they don't even sometimes even run three fog blades, as you can see here. Um, Yeah, and I run stuff like Appaloosa as an example, if you can see from this deck example deck list. Another deck list right here. Okay, they run the pretty similar lineup as this list. You know, just like look at the amount of counters you have to run towards Max C, and how like yeah, you put up an Omni Negate before your summon, but the thing is though, one thing that I'm seeing the OCG doesn't really side in is Joel Mockbird. I'm also seeing that that's a really big side deck um, card that's used in TCG, and that hurts the Brave Token engine, which the BA engine can play through fairly easily. So I'm kind of mixed about it. So that's why I'm not going to give you guys my personal deck list on why, because I don't want to give out a deck list that's going to be crappy, in my opinion. So like I said, I feel like the whole Brave thing is going to be overhyped, but I still want to test around with it. It's definitely worth testing, see how it is different than how we currently play it. Hold on 1 second, I got a phone call. But like as I was saying, I felt that like when I was doing some test hands alongside the DP engine, I just found it was too bricky. Um, I just had maybe like too many going first cards, and then the engine itself, going second struggles a little bit. But here I am with a more pure build. I'm going to demonstrate what it can do. I see a lot of OCG lists run the Utopic Future Dragon. Looks like this list didn't. They used to usually run Utopic Future Draco, but here I'm going to more so demonstrate. It's more of a pure version that's more focused on trying to get Splinkline to Rusty rather than go for the Utopic Future Draco combo or the Scythe Lock. Here we go ahead and start off with the Rite of Aramesia. Go ahead and since we had the Aquamancer in hand, you can go ahead and special summon it. That will trigger Journey of Destiny, so we can add Draco back to the hand and use the Journey of Destiny effect. If a monster is normal summoned or special summoned, we can go ahead and add ourselves a Draco and equip card actually. That lists Brave tokens. So go ahead and add the Draco back. I just like to do this, and that way I don't really give up any discard fodder yet. Essentially becomes free discard fodder because it reads that if this card is sent to the graveyard, target one Brave token you control, equip this card to that target. So you can essentially search out the Griffin Rider for free. You can't always do this because sometimes you're gonna have to use Cherubini to dump the Aquamancer, and then you really want to just go ahead and get the Griffin Rider out on your fifth summon. So that way you have protection for when the window of opportunity occurs when your opponent can Nibiru you. We're going to go and see here. I get it out relatively fine. I'm going to go ahead and normal summon Ancient Cloak, special summon out Boots. This is so that way I can leave a dark monster in our field so I can climb my way into Rusty. Go ahead, share a beanie, dump for cost. We're going to go ahead and dump gloves. The reason why we dump the gloves specifically is because if let's say they maybe have a combination of Nibbit and Perm and they want to try to hit the Rusty on summon, well, we can go ahead and then if that successfully resolves, we can go ahead, use gloves, dump a trap, and then revive back the Rusty. Go ahead and use Rusty effect, go ahead, dump Torn Scales, set the Pog Blade, Ancient Cloak effect, go ahead, add Stained Greaves, something that I never see any OCG lists play. Torn Scales, go ahead, start summoning itself out. Stained Greaves effect, go ahead, start summoning someone out. This is like one thing that if this like version deck does become a thing, you definitely run a lot more extenders as opposed to the OCG deck list. Because if you guys can see from the OCG deck list, they just run a whole bunch of counters to Max C where we can just run extenders as opposed to that. Go ahead and go into a Break Sword. Rusty, go ahead, pop Break Sword. Stained Greaves, or no, Break Sword effect, bring out Stained Greaves. Or Torn Scales. Like I said, this end board can differ. If you already know what you're playing against, go for like an Evil Sword Nightmare. If it's like Bird Up or something like that, so that way you can stop them from exceeding. IP is good against trap decks and like some lines of play that I showed off in a previous combo video. We can go like Unicorn into Underworld Goddess or into Access Go Talker, stuff like that. Go ahead, search out the Wing, part of the combo I've shown on the channel featuring IP Masquerade, so the wings can automatically fall off and you can use a Break Sword pop right away. Then we go ahead, since we haven't used the Aquamancer search effect and the Aquamancer's in the graveyard, you can just go ahead and grab a Rite of Aramesia for follow-up. It's just like free discard fodder, and plus it's something you don't really want to top deck into, so might as well search it if you can. Okay, this is another test stand, so we open up double Aquamancer. A little bit awkward, but it works. As you can see, no going second cards. I do run about 10 or 11 in this deck list, I believe. You go ahead, use Rite of Aramesia, get set the Journey of Destiny. Journey of Destiny effect, go ahead, get the Draco back. Go ahead, grab Griffin Rider, discard the Draco back. Go ahead, bring out the Griffin Rider. Go ahead, Rhoda. Go ahead, add Silent Boots, Gloves, special normal summon, special summon out. Use Gloves, Aquamancer, go into the Cherubini, set a card to play around Gamma or Herald of the Orange Light. Go ahead, Cherubini, set Ancient Cloak, and pretty much the same monsters we had set up before. Go ahead, dump Torn Scales, Ancient Cloak effect, go ahead, add Stained Underwear. Torn Scales effect, special summon himself out. Stained Underwear effect, special summon himself out. Go into a Break Sword. Set IP Masquerade combo again. 4+ interruptions with that setup, including one Omni Negate. Okay, so a little bit awkward. We hard drew 2 pieces of our engine that we don't really want to draw, plus an Tele extender. So we're going to go Aquamancer, go ahead, grab the Rite of Aramesia, effect, special summon out token, then hard activate Journey of Destiny, add Griffin Rider, discard Draco back effect, equip yourself, and then that's literally all we can do because the token's not even level 3, so we can even only use the Griffin Rider while you control the Brave token, so you really wouldn't want to get rid of it. But you did have droplets as interruption, so we could have sent like the Draco back and equip itself back onto the token. So this is going to be strong, as I mentioned here in the comments section, since we can go into Cherubini without committing our normal summon. Go ahead, jump forward, go ahead, Psychic Wielder, Cherubini, go ahead, dump the Aquamancer effect, go ahead, add Rite of Aramesia, Rite effect, token, special summon out the Griffin Rider we already hard opened, and Journey of Destiny. Go ahead, add Draco back. Normal summon out Ancient Cloak. Turn those into the Rusty Bardiche effect on Torn Scales, set Pog Blade. Go ahead, go. Ancient Cloak effect, add Ragged Gloves. Go ahead, switch them out. Torn Scales. Go ahead, discard Draco back. Send a Wing. Draco back effect. Equip itself to the token. Switch them out Boots. Go ahead, overlay into a Break Sword. Break Sword effect, or no, Rusty effect, go ahead and pop Break Sword. Special summon out the Torn Scales and the Boots. Go ahead and go into an IP Masquerena. Go ahead, Boots to search. And the reason why I searched out gloves there is because I'm going to sack off my Torn Scales once I go for the Break Sword pop combo and use my IP to go into like Underworld Goddess, or maybe go into a Nightmare Unicorn spin, and then I have the gloves there just kind of floating as like another pseudo Torn Scales, because it just becomes whatever name you want in the graveyard. Now we're going to go ahead and activate Rhoda. So 2 going second cards this time, which is nice. And then always seeing Torn Scales and Boots is pretty much full combo every time. Plays through a lot of interruptions. You go through Share Beanie. Go ahead and no Aquamancer effects. Right of Aramesia. Go ahead, set Journey of Destiny. Journey of Destiny effect, add Griffin Rider. Discard the droplets. Go ahead, add Draco back. And Silent Boots effects. Go ahead, add the Shade Brigandine. Yeah, so I'm trying to just play around Nibiru plus Imperm, and we haven't gotten into Rusty yet, so I really want to prioritize getting to Rusty since we hard open the wings, and so we can revive back our Rusty if we need to, just by setting wings and then using it on the token, so we have follow-up. Then go ahead and use Rusty effect, dump Cloak, dump set the Pog Blade, Ancient Cloak effect, go ahead, add Stained Underwear, and go ahead, special summon out Torn Scales, Stained Underwear effect, so summon itself out. Go ahead, overlay those into a Break Sword, Rusty Pop Break Sword, go ahead, turn those into an IP. Kind of tell that I'm a big fan of IP, just because of how diverse it is. Like I said, you can also just go into Time Thief Redoer as well if you want the most diverse, because Redoer lets you know what your opponent's playing ahead of time. And also, it's pretty good this format because I personally run it in my DPE build of the deck, and I really like it because a lot of decks that go up against play a DPE engine, and I have good luck with it where I snatch one of their pieces for the Phoenix Enforcer. A little bit off topic, so here we have another test hand. Double Aquamancer and 1 Red of Aramesia, but 2 going second cards. I'm a big advocate for at least maining 1 main deck out to Mystic Mine if you're wondering what the Duster is for. It's just because like it's so hard to out it, especially after you get Rusty on board. Because at least with other decks, they can like Solemn Judgment their own monster if they need to get rid of it. But no, like with Rusty, you can't even use it as link material. It's literally droplets or bust. Unlike your opponent's own monster. But we're going to go ahead and switch to Aquamancer from hand, trigger Journey of Destiny, add the Draco back, then go ahead, use the Ignition effect, Journey of Destiny to add the Griffin Rider, Draco back, go ahead, recycle itself, switch out Griffin Rider, normal summon out the Aquamancer since it's a hard once per turn on the special summon effects. Shirabini, mill the Ancient, no, I'm not going to mill Ancient, we're going to mill the Boots. We're going to use Boots here because we want to grab follow-up after we get to Rusty Bardiche, and then the Cloak would let us get to like a Torn Scales. Go to Boots, search out Shade Brigandine, go ahead, turn those into the Rusty Bardiche, go ahead, set Pog Blade, Ancient Cloak effects, go ahead, add Torn Scales, and then go ahead, use the effect of the Aquamancer to go ahead and add us follow-up so we don't draw into a card that we don't want to draw into. The past turn with about 2 interruptions there plus follow-up. Okay, so now another awkward hand where we draw too much engine right here, but we're going to go and make it work. Go ahead, switch summon out the token, click Journey of Destiny. Not going to use the effect yet. Now we are. Go ahead, add the Draco back. Click Journey of Destiny. Add the Aquamancer since we already hard opened the Griffin Rider. Free discard, clip itself back, summon out Griffin Rider. Special summon out the, normal summon out the Aquamancer actually. Go ahead and Dueling Clam again into Rusty Bardiche. Like I said, I messed up. That should have been the normal summon right there. Go ahead and add Twin Scales. So pretty similar end board to the one we ended up last time. So if you run three right of Aramesia, you can't add another follow-up. I only run 2 because I'm trying to keep the deck count at 40. Okay, so now this is a full hand of gas. So then now we're going to go ahead and switch summon out Junk Forward. Before that we use Aquamancer, switch summon out Junk Forward. Before you special summon out our token, go ahead Journey of Destiny. Go ahead trigger Journey of Destiny by normal summoning out the Ancient Cloak effect. Go ahead and add the Draco back from the deck. And then we're going to also go ahead and use the Ignition effect to add Griffin Rider. Send, recycle, you guys know the drill by now. Switch summon out the boots, use Jump Forward and Ancient Cloak. Cherubini, dump for cost. Go ahead, turn those into a Rusty effect. Go ahead, mill Torn Skills, set Pogblade. Go ahead, Ancient Cloak, grab the Stained Underwear. Torn Scales, revive itself. Stained Greaves. Go ahead, turn those into a Break Sword. Rusty effect, pop. Turn those into an IP. Boots effect, add Wing. So like 5+ interruptions right there. Okay. So you're pretty much all gas again. Add the right, switch summon out Jump Forward, switch summon out the token, switch summon out the Psychic with E-Telly, trigger Journey of Destiny to add the Draco back. Go ahead, grab the Griffin Rider, recycle the Draco back, sorry. Turn the Psychic and Jump Forward into Cherubini, no for cost, normal summon out Gloves. Go ahead, bring out the Rusty effect. Go ahead, mill Torn Skills, set Pogblade. Ragged Gloves effect. Go ahead, dump the Wing. Torn Skills effect. Bring itself out, switch summon out the boots. Turn those into a Break Sword. Break Sword effect, pop itself. And then go ahead, use Ancient Cloak effects. Oops, fast forwarded there a little bit. Ancient Cloak effect to boost the Rusty. And then turn those into a Time Thief Redoer. Set 2 Pogblades pass. Okay, so now we open up one going second card. We go ahead, bring out Psychic Wielder. Yep, so I prefer to normal summon Gloves over Torn Skills. Well, I guess with this version of the deck, because you may or may not need to use its effects. But that's kind of the issue I've been having, because sometimes I want to use my Torn Scales effect first, so that way I can bait out interruptions and hand traps and get my graveyard set up. So that's one of the downsides of this this engine, is that when you go into Cherubini and go into Aquamancer, and like I can't use the effects of normal summon monsters a turn that I use the switch summon out the Brave token with right up Aramesia. So it's like, it's kind of like a small downside I found with this deck, this version of the deck I should say. Go ahead, Cherubini, mill the Aquamancer, switch out right up Aramesia effect. Go ahead, set the Journey of Destiny, add the Griffin Rider, discard the Torn Skills, then trigger Journey of Destiny, add the Draco back, Gloves effect, take it out for an Ancient Cloak, Torn Scales effects. Ancient Cloak effect, go ahead. Add these Silent Boots, switch them out Silent Boots, turn those into the Rusty Bardiche. Then Torn Scales effect, go ahead. Discard the Dracoback, mill the Fogblade, Dracoback, recycle. Then Rusty Bardiche effect, go ahead, dump Ancient Cloak, set Pogblade for follow up. Pogblade, go ahead, switch them out Ancient Cloak to boost. Overlay those into a Break Sword. Rusty effect to pop the Break Sword. Go into IP. Search out a Pogblade. Go ahead, set right there. 4+ interruptions. Once again, all gas right here. So here I consider that if I want to switch someone out the wielder, but you really don't want to because you really just want boots in the graveyard to trigger. Because let's say, for example, if I would have switched someone out wielder instead, I dumped the Aquamancer with Cherubini, and then they go ahead and Ash when I try to banish it. Well, I don't have anything else to extend with at that point. Well, if I use boots like I am right here, if they negate the Aquamancer, I can just go ahead, boots effect, search Shade Brigandine, and go ahead, link climb my way into Rusty Bardiche. Go ahead, Aquamancer effects, grab the right, bring out token, Journey of Destiny, go ahead, add Griffin Rider. I ultimately decide to just sack off Torn Scales here, just to keep one floating in grave in case this one gets banished. I'm going to go Ancient Cloak effects, go ahead, add Shade Brigade, go ahead, bring up the Shade Brigade, Cherubini, link those into Rusty effect, dump Ancient Cloak, set Pogblade, Ancient Cloak effect, add Stained Underwear, go ahead, bring out Torn Scales, Stained Underwear effect, bring itself out, go ahead, discard the Dracoback, I think here I just forgot to dump actually. Yeah, I just forgot to dump. But there should be like a gloves or cloak there in the graveyard. I was doing this like at 1 a.m. to be honest. Yeah, and sometimes you could send a trap in case if like the pop does come up right away. Yeah, look at it said ow. Yeah, the right of error miss, yeah, it's just a B Trooper's the sun at that point if you just hard open the Journey of Destiny. Journey of Destiny, go ahead, discard Dracoback. Pretty similar hand as before, but this time we open up Ash Blossom, which is good, so we can go ahead and make Cherubini with this. Cherubini, go ahead and dump Ancient Cloak, or no, dump Boots, I should say. Yeah, dump Boots. Search out Shade. Special summon out Shade. Link those into the Rusty. Go ahead, dump Ancient Cloak, set Pogblade. Ancient Cloak, add Torn Scales for follow up. It's a decent hand. Yep. Phantom Knight name plus any extender. Plays well through an interruption in case they negate the Aquamancer. Set a card for using Cherubini effect. Possible. Hard open the Journey of Destiny. Sad. Discard Ash. Journey of Destiny effect. Add Draco back to hand. Got Ancient Cloak. Set Shade. Use Shade. Link into Rusty Bardiche. Yeah, and here I just say like you can either go double Fogblade if you want, or go for gloves if you want the versatility of the follow-up. Go ahead, we open up one, going second card, plus a whole lot of gas. Go into Cherubini without using our normal summon in this case. Go ahead, set Rhoda. Cherubini, dump Aquamancer, get the right out. Normal summon Torn Scales. I think this was a mistake here. I think I got greedy. I don't think I should have normal summoned actually. Yeah, I think in this test hand I get a little bit greedy and normal summon out torn scales before realizing that I should have played around the Nibiru a little bit better. I would have discarded the infinite impermanence in this case. Go ahead, dump Ancient Cloak, set Pogblade. Ancient Cloak effect, go ahead, add Raggy Gloves. Torn Skills effects. Go ahead, discard Raggy Gloves and send the wings. I think I was overvaluing this infinite impermanence when I was doing this test hand. Yeah, but don't do that. Definitely discard infinite impermanence if you need to. Since considering that I had Rhoda for boots anyways, I got a little bit greedy there. I could have been easily punished with the nib, which is what the whole purpose of this package is to do. Relay those into the Mexican redoer. If you're in the know, you get the reference. Yep. So not totally sure if this package is gonna be decent or if it's not gonna be like a little bit of a flop like Crossout Designator. We just gotta wait and see because overall this package loses to a lot of side deck hate, which is commonly played in the TCG, such as Lancia, Joel Lockbird, and Anti-Spell. But with the BAs, it helps you link climb into Rusty and it helps you play around Nibiru already because you just go into Cherubini, bring out 2 extenders, and like if you have enough PKs in graveyard like a Torn Scales which you haven't used up yet, you can go into an Appaloosa and then finish the rest of your combo from there. So the BEAs pretty much help you bait out the nib anyway, where the Brave Token engine more so or less prevents it, but a lot of the time it can always just end on at least a verte through the nib with the current BA engine. So it's just something you have to wait and see because we're able to play the BA engine because we don't have the meta warping card like Maxi. But it'll be interesting, the TCG version of this. Just really unsure that how it's going to be played, obviously, since I don't know the ban list yet. But I just want to go ahead and give you guys some lines of play if you guys want to go ahead and start playtesting with it to get ready for the new format. But I'll go ahead and check you guys out later. Remember to go ahead and check out the July_TCG Discord. A really nice Discord server to do some casual testing, remote duels, dueling book duels, get feedback on your deck list. Not entirely just like based on Phantom Knights, but like other decks as well. We have a lot of players that are diverse in many different decks. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a great day. Peace.